Your bank account just triggered something massive, a transaction under your name. Archangel Michael says the sound of your name is echoing in places you never expected. Something has shifted inside the world of money, numbers, and unseen records. A transaction so large, so sudden, has been tied to you, and the ripple it has caused is already moving faster than you can comprehend. This is not just money moving. It is not just a bank alert or a casual notice from an institution. What happened carries weight, like a door opened in the unseen, where paper, digital lines, and human decisions are now intertwined with something spiritual. The system believes you authorized it, but heaven whispers differently. This transaction carries an energy of entrapment, as if your name was borrowed and placed where it does not belong. And now, you are caught in a wave that will not stop moving until its truth is revealed. Already, forces are studying the numbers tied to your identity. They are not just watching the amount, but watching you, watching the patterns, watching what doors this moment might open. And you are standing at the edge of something designed to test your strength. Type Amen 333 to anchor protection over your finances and identity. The money trail does not simply move in silence. It speaks. It speaks to systems, to watchers, and even to shadows that prey on weaknesses. This transaction is more than digits. It is an attempt to open up a claim over you. It is designed to say, this belongs to them. This is their debt. This is their fault. But the truth is that it was a calculated move in the background. You were not the architect, yet your name was chosen like bait. Someone knew exactly which strings to pull, and now your account is the stage for something bigger. Behind the scenes, whispers are spreading, and steps are already being prepared. The bank looks at the numbers, but heaven sees the energy. The records are earthly, but the intentions are spiritual. That is why you are not facing just a financial matter, you are facing a trap, and only divine clarity can guide you forward. Type Amen 444 to declare clarity and protection over your name. This moment has the weight of a storm. Imagine papers stacked, screens glowing, and a system registering your identity with urgency. The transaction is not a mistake, it is a setup. Somebody wanted this to happen. Someone who knows that financial records are not questioned easily, that once written, they carry authority. And they wanted your name in the middle of it. The transaction is not about the money itself. It is about control. It is about tying you into something that will later be pointed at as evidence against you. The design is not random, it is intentional. If you feel the pressure right now, it is because the unseen battle is already moving. Not tomorrow, not later, but now. And you are being called to rise in awareness before it shapes your path further. Type Amen 555 to receive breakthrough strength in this moment. You are not alone. What has happened is not hidden from heaven. Light is already shining on what was meant to drown you in silence. The energy tied to the transaction is not ordinary. It has signatures of manipulation, of someone trying to bend the system. The people behind it believe they are clever, but divine order is already unraveling their disguise. The bank may see digits, but heaven sees intentions. What was planted to break you will turn into a stage for truth. That is why you must be alert and stand strong, because this moment is more than it looks. When records hold your name, they create pathways, some for good, some for destruction. And right now, one such pathway has been forced open in your life. Type Amen 111 to shield your path from financial traps. The chain has begun. Systems are not silent once awakened. This transaction has already rung alarms in places you may not even know exist. It may appear as a notification or a letter waiting to reach your hands. It may appear as a call or a digital trace being examined. But beyond that, it has already entered records, already shifting how your name is viewed. You may not have touched the amount, but the amount now touches you. And this is the dangerous part: once records hold a number, the world treats it as truth. And yet, truth and records are not always the same. That is why your spirit must stand before your name. For names can be written in systems falsely, but heaven does not lie. And right now, it is heaven's voice that must rewrite what man tries to control. Type Amen 222 to align your name with divine truth. The ripple of this single act is wider than you can see. Systems that rarely intersect have now been connected by your name. Banks, observers, and quiet networks are scanning the line where this movement began. What was once hidden is now exposed under a glaring light. That is why the pressure feels heavier. It is not only financial but energetic. This movement touches more than numbers, it touches identity. Your account is now marked as a point of interest. Someone intended for this to happen, to shift eyes in your direction. But the moment they tied your name to this wave, they also activated attention from realms they never expected. Already, the design against you is cracking. What was meant to bind you in fear is already losing its grip. You may feel the weight, but you are not collapsing, you are awakening. Type Amen 999 to confirm that no trap will claim victory over your life. The movement is large enough to draw suspicion. Records will not let it pass unnoticed. What you are experiencing is not a whisper but a declaration in the financial realm. Those behind this thought it would bury you quietly. They believed you would carry the shame and burden alone. But in truth, their own fingerprints are pressed into the act, and those prints will be uncovered. The shift in your spirit is no accident. The unease you feel is not fear. It is warning. It is preparation so that when the truth is fully revealed, you will already be standing firm. The transaction is not the end, it is the beginning of an unraveling. One thread has been pulled, and soon the whole web will lose its disguise. And those who planned it will no longer be able to hide. Type Amen 123 to call forth justice in your financial records. Archangel Michael says this is not the moment to retreat. It is the moment to watch, to listen, and to let your spirit stay aligned with clarity. The snare has been identified, and light is already moving through it. The shadows working behind this are not as strong as they appear. They thrive only in silence, only in secrecy. Once exposed, their grip dissolves like mist. You were not chosen by accident. You were targeted because your name holds weight, because your path carries purpose, because your destiny cannot be left untouched by those who envy it. That is why they reached for your records. But now, their reach has awakened forces they cannot withstand. And soon, they will face what they never thought would rise against them, truth stronger than lies, light stronger than deception. Type Amen 888 to seal divine protection over your name and destiny. The echo of the transaction does not stay still. It moves, bouncing from one office to another, from one system to another. Each shift carries your name further into records that will not forget. But what was meant as a trap will soon be an opening for exposure. The larger the echo, the faster their fingerprints spread across the story. They cannot erase their trail. In your silence, strength is being built. In your calm, wisdom is gathering. And when the right moment comes, you will not be the one under judgment, they will. The system may mark your account, but heaven marks your spirit. And it is that mark which decides the true outcome, not the lines typed into a ledger. Type Amen 1010 to affirm that your spirit outweighs every earthly record. This is only the unfolding. The true climax has not yet arrived. But you are already positioned to endure and to overcome. The unseen hands who thought they could bend fate with digits will soon face the collapse of their own design. The walls they built to hide behind are already trembling. And what they plotted is already reversing. Stay steady. Stay awake. Do not let fear convince you that this is the end, because it is not. It is exposure, it is unveiling, it is a doorway into a higher protection. This is why your spirit has been called into awareness. Not to carry fear, but to carry authority. For your name belongs to more than a system, it belongs to a destiny larger than their schemes. Type Amen 1212 to declare reversal over every scheme tied to your account. The sound of numbers moving through invisible networks is not quiet. It shakes unseen corridors, it alerts watchers, and it awakens forces that measure lives through digits. And your name is now written across this movement like a headline. Those who thought they could mask their actions with shadows underestimated the power of exposure. They assumed the system would remain blind, but the light always arrives where deception tries to live. And now, the cracks in their plan are spreading quickly. You must understand, this is not chaos, it is design. The pressure you feel is part of the process that ensures their plot will collapse under its own weight. What was created to silence you is about to become the very stage where your voice will matter. The transaction was never about the money alone. It was about making your name carry a false burden. But soon, that burden will be lifted, and their own scheme will weigh on them instead. Type Amen 333 to release the chains of false burdens placed on your life. The current is still moving. Each hour, more eyes are turned toward the line where your name was drawn. Some are looking with suspicion, others with curiosity, but heaven looks with authority. The system is trained to assume guilt until proven otherwise. It is built to guard itself, not you. But beyond those walls, truth is already working, unraveling the disguise that was placed against you. The shift has already begun. What looks like a trap from below is being rewritten from above. You are not in danger of loss, you are in the path of revelation. Those who tried to bury you through digits did not realize they awakened something larger. Their act was not just seen by man, but recorded by heaven. And heaven does not forget. Type Amen 444 to anchor yourself in the certainty of revelation. This moment feels heavy because it is layered. On the surface, it is financial. Beneath, it is spiritual. And deeper still, it is about your destiny. Every move against you is never just about now, it is about where you are going. That is why they chose this path, because they wanted to stop something rising in your future. But their attempt is already breaking apart. The energy tied to the transaction cannot stay hidden. It carries fingerprints, traces, signs of manipulation. And soon, even the system itself will begin to reveal what was disguised. Hold steady, for the tide is already turning. The light is rising faster than their shadows can move. And your name is not marked for destruction but for deliverance. Type Amen 555 to confirm deliverance over your finances and your future. Archangel Michael says you are stronger than the fear trying to settle into your chest. This wave may feel overwhelming, but it is not greater than the protection surrounding you. Do not mistake noise for defeat. The transaction is like a bell ringing in a tower. It echoes through halls both seen and unseen. And every echo carries with it a message, one that will soon return to its source. Those who rang the bell will not escape its sound. They will be recognized, they will be revealed, and they will be forced to answer for the disturbance they caused. Their hiding place is already failing. This is not only about you, it is about exposing a pattern. And once it is exposed, it will not touch you again, because the truth will stand taller than every false claim. Type Amen 666 to break cycles of repeated financial traps. The digital trail is alive. Every number, every movement, every timestamp is a thread in a larger fabric. And the fabric they tried to weave around you is unraveling with every passing moment. You may not see the unraveling yet, but it is happening. Evidence is piling up where they least expect it. Their assumption that silence would protect them is already turning into noise. The moment they used your name, they placed themselves under a spotlight they cannot escape. They shifted attention not just to you but to their own hidden dealings. And soon, those dealings will stand in the open. Your peace is your weapon. Your calm is your power. The storm may rage, but storms are temporary, clarity is eternal. Type Amen 777 to walk in peace as truth comes forth. The ripple has reached places far beyond your vision. Letters are being written. Records are being checked. Files are being flagged. And all of them circle back to the same point, your name. But what they did not anticipate is that divine order always outpaces manipulation. The records they thought would bury you are turning into pathways for exposure. Each flagged page is another step toward revealing their scheme. Do not shrink back. Stand tall, even in silence. For silence is not weakness, it is strength, waiting for the right moment to speak. This is more than a financial case. It is a spiritual unfolding. And when the pages turn, it will be you who walks forward unshaken. Type Amen 888 to declare authority over every false record tied to you. The flow of energy around your finances is not still. It moves like a current, and when disturbed, it creates waves that cannot be ignored. This is why the tension is present, it is the ripple of what was done in secret. Behind the curtain, observers are already speaking. Quiet discussions are unfolding, and your name is mentioned in those exchanges. They thought you would never know, but your spirit already senses it. Their design was never random. They studied the system, studied the timing, and chose a moment when you would least expect it. But timing belongs to heaven, not to schemes. The attempt to harm you is the very act that will reveal them. The moment they tied your name into their plan, they wrote themselves into exposure. And exposure always finds its way to the surface. Type Amen 999 to declare their hidden works will no longer remain in silence. The walls of their plan are crumbling. Every system they leaned on is now turning against them. What was meant to protect their lie is now becoming the tool of their undoing. This is how truth works. It doesn't shout at first, it waits. But when the waiting is complete, it bursts forward and no shadow can resist it. And that moment is drawing near for you. Stay in the stillness of your spirit. Do not let their noise draw you into panic. For panic is what they wanted, but peace is what will disarm them. The tide is shifting. The current is moving in your favor. And what was once placed against you will be redirected back to its source. Type Amen 222 to reverse every false assignment attached to your name. The network of this act is wider than it appears. It is not just one line, not just one entry, but a chain of actions built to create weight. They believed that the chain would hold you down. But chains do not hold forever. They snap under the pressure of truth. And already, the cracks are forming where their links were once strong. Your name is stronger than the labels they try to attach to it. It carries authority that cannot be stolen, no matter how carefully they forged their plan. That is why this moment will not consume you. Each step forward is proof that their power is weaker than it looks. They thought they could trap you in silence, but silence is where heaven prepares the greatest breakthroughs. Type Amen 111 to break every chain of manipulation over your finances. Archangel Michael says the moment you stand in now is sacred. It is heavy with meaning, because it is the crossing point between deception and revelation. Do not underestimate what is unfolding before you. They are watching you, but you are not the one on trial. Their eyes are fixed on you, but heaven's eyes are fixed on them. And soon, the world will see what was hidden. You were not called to be crushed by this storm. You were called to be preserved through it, to rise from it, to show that no earthly trap can hold a spirit aligned with truth. That is why you are still standing now. What is coming next is not disaster, it is exposure. And when the exposure arrives, it will not be your name in shame but theirs. Type Amen 333 to step boldly into exposure and release. The system is loud, but your spirit is louder. That inner knowing that something is wrong is the signal you cannot ignore. It is your shield guiding you through this moment. They thought their movements would go unnoticed. They assumed the bank would take their side. But no system, no matter how advanced, can erase divine truth. The more they push, the more evidence gathers. The harder they hide, the brighter the light shines. Their escape is already cut off. You will not collapse under this. You are carried, you are guarded, and you are walking toward a release greater than you realize. Type Amen 444 to secure divine guarding over your identity. The echo of this act will not last forever. It will fade, leaving behind the truth that cannot be denied. But until then, you must remain steadfast. Every passing day adds weight not to you, but to them. Their own choices are building walls around them, closing in tighter with every step they take. You do not need to chase them. You do not need to fight in the way they expect. Your power is in standing firm, knowing the outcome is already shifting. The storm has a center. And at that center is peace, the kind that no manipulation can disturb. That peace is where you must remain. Type Amen 555 to call peace into your center. The current is undeniable now. Too many eyes have been drawn to it, too many records touched by it. The act they thought would disappear has become a point of attention. This is how exposure works, it grows louder with time. What was whispered yesterday becomes shouted tomorrow. And their voices will not be able to drown it out. You are not walking into judgment, you are walking into release. The weight tied to your name will not hold, because it was never rightfully yours. And the truth is already peeling it away. Remain calm. For calm is where your strength multiplies, and strength is what you need for the unfolding days. Type Amen 666 to remain strong as the unveiling approaches. The shadow of this act stretches further than the amount itself. It is not the number that matters most, it is the intent behind it. And intent leaves a trail that cannot be erased. They assumed their movements would blend into the thousands of other transactions happening every second. But what they did not know is that anything carrying your name cannot hide for long. It stands out, and it will be noticed. This is why your spirit feels the heaviness. Because even though the system processes numbers, your heart senses energy. And the energy behind this one is not ordinary. But energy does not lie. It reveals itself in time. And time is already working against those who thought they were safe. Type Amen 999 to call time into your favor and speed exposure. The force of what they set into motion cannot be undone by them. Once released, it travels. Once recorded, it cannot be erased. That is why their fear is growing even as they pretend to be confident. Every keystroke they used against you has a record. Every digital mark carries their intention. And those records are now alive, waiting to testify. You are not standing in weakness, you are standing in strength. The wave is big, but you are not drowning in it. You are rising above it with a clarity they did not expect. The days ahead will not bury you. They will reveal them. And once revealed, the story changes forever. Type Amen 222 to declare exposure is near. The pressure is real, but it is not permanent. Storms roar, but storms pass. And you are not meant to be broken, you are meant to endure. The system may still hold your name in review. But heaven holds your name in truth. And truth will always outweigh review. Their assumption was that you would fall silent under weight. But silence is not your prison, it is your preparation. And you are being prepared for something greater than their scheme. This is not a moment of collapse. It is a moment of rising. It is the very place where the trap they built becomes the proof of their own downfall. Type Amen 3:33 to rise above the storm. Archangel Michael says the stage has been set, but not for your destruction. It has been set for your vindication. What they meant to close you in will instead open a path for you. Every detail is under watch. Every move is being counted. And soon, what was hidden will be revealed in its fullness. You are not the target, they are. For by touching your name, they awakened a justice stronger than their schemes. And that justice is already unfolding. Your peace will confuse them. Your endurance will frustrate them. And your release will silence them. Type Amen 4:44 to seal your vindication. The system is speaking louder now. Notifications, records, alerts, they are all adding up. What began as one action is spreading across many layers. And yet, none of it will define you. For no false entry can define the truth of your destiny. And your destiny stands untouched. They thought their fingerprints were invisible. But every shadow they used is leaving a mark. And soon, those marks will reveal the truth. You are not bound to their act. You are rising above it. And the act itself will turn into proof of their collapse. Type Amen 5:55 to affirm your destiny cannot be stolen. The current is heavy, but it is moving. It is carrying their scheme out of the dark. And once it is out, it will never go back. This is why you feel urgency. Because the moment is close, the unveiling is not far away. And when it comes, it will shift everything. No paper, no screen, no record can silence the truth. And the truth is already growing louder than their disguise. That is why the pressure grows, it is the sound of lies breaking. Stay steady. Stay unshaken. For what is meant for you will not be taken away. Type Amen 6:66 to walk steady into your release. The silence in the background is not empty. It is the silence of watching, the silence of waiting, the silence before exposure bursts. And that silence is almost over. They thought they could build walls around their act. But every wall has cracks. And those cracks are spreading wider by the day. The chain of cause and effect cannot be stopped. Once begun, it carries through. And their choice has already sealed their outcome. You are not falling into their trap. You are walking out of it. And every step you take is evidence that their hold is broken.